I have over 90 books on this TBR cart, and I am desperate to read every single one of them to the point where when I go to pick a book out for myself, I get extreme decision fatigue. So today, we're going to build my summer TBR using my little TBR jar. Hi everyone, Editing Anna here, just jumping in to let you know if you're over here thinking, wow, her hair is sticking up, she looks like a Teletubby. I wonder if she realizes that. Yes, I didn't realize it at the time of filming, but I am realizing it now while I'm editing, and it is just as distracting to me as it probably is to you. So sorry about that, but it is what it is. Hello, welcome or welcome back. My name is Anna. This is the second time where I've had to re record one of these TBR jar videos because the first time I built a whole TBR, but my mic isn't recording. So I'm taking that as a sign that that first TBR just wasn't meant to be and we need to pull it again. So I did this back in June, it's still June right now, but I did this for June and I pulled out 4 books and it worked well. I finished 2 of the books so far and I'm in the middle of the other 2. It's only June 22nd right now, so we have some time to finish them up. I think going forward, rather than pulling for a month at a time, I'm going to start pulling seasonally. So today we're going to pull 8 books and I'm going to read in July and August through the rest of the summer. So let's get into it. Moo Cow is here to help us. What is the first prompt going to be, Moo Cow? Oop, this one fell out. I'm going by tarot card rules where if a prompt jumps out, it means it was meant to be, you know? Oh my gosh, I got this one last time. Put Letterbox Films on shuffle, and then pick the book that fits the vibe. I'm glad we're getting a redo for this prompt because when I did it in the last video, I feel like the book to movie correspondence was just not really there. So let's log into my Letterboxd. All right, we are on my Letterboxd. I'm going to refresh to shuffle it again. My Letterboxd Buscemi's Girl, if you're interested. Oh, interesting pick. Former cult member hears music for the first time. This is a short film by Christopher Borgli. He's the same director as the drama Sick of Myself. This short film is about a documentary crew who's like filming this documentary about this former cult member who hears music for the first time. But spoiler alert, something bad happens to her and they just don't really care. I feel like a book that would fit that vibe would be like a satire about Hollywood or even like the entertainment industry or working in general. I feel like the obvious choice, to me anyway, would be Right. It's not necessarily about Hollywood, but it is about a woman who works in Silicon Valley and at a startup, and it sucks, and they don't care about her. And I think it's similar to a former cult member because while that is about a documentary crew taking advantage of a woman, this is about how our workplaces take advantage of all of us, right? I feel like this has been all over the place for literally ever, and I have yet to read it, so I'm excited to finally read it and form my own opinion on it. Let's see prompt number 2. When I originally pulled this, we were getting a lot of classics. So I'm going to try my best to replicate that because I wanted to have a hot intellectual girl summer. But we'll see. We'll see what we get. All right. Can you read that? A trans author. Nice. I included this book when I last filmed this TBR video because I'm itching to read it. Okay, and that is Moonflow by Bitter Corella. This book is about a bunch of lesbians who do mushrooms and they go into psychosis or something, or they like worship the mushrooms. I don't really know, but Eric LaRocca describes it as a bizarre and fiercely original splatterpunk phantasmagoria of queerness, and that sounds like the kind of book that's always going to be a good time for me. So excited to have another reason to finally read this. Also, this cover is amazing. Even the spine is so good. All right. We have a very strong TBR thus far. Get into that ASMR of these prompts. Ooh, one fell out. Tarot card rules. If it falls out, we're choosing it. Ooh. 1980s. What book was published in the 80s? When was I Who Have Never Known Men published? Probably not the 80s. 1995. Okay, I almost thought I couldn't find anything, you guys, but The Lover was published in 1985. Set in the pre war Saigon of Marguerite Duras' childhood, this haunting story of a tumultuous affair between an adolescent French girl and her Chinese lover takes place in the waning days of France's colonial empire. So, I don't think I've ever read anything by Duras. Hope I'm saying their name correctly. So excited to read this. I have owned this book for so long and it's just been sitting there. So now I finally have a reason to read it, which isn't that what this is all about at the end of the day. All right, time for prompt number 4. Oop, okay, we have a bunch falling out. I'm not going to do tarot card rules. I'm going to I'm gonna close my eyes and pick one. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's see what I pick. All right, this one landed between my fingers. It's another author prompt. Ooh, lesbian author. All right, we got the lesbian nails on for Pride. What lesbian author do we want to read this month? Or this summer, I should say. I think what I'm going to go with right now is We Could Be Rats by Emily Austen. I've read several of Emily Austen's books, and I think they're the kind that really touch you, but are also very quick to get through. And I think as a summer read, it could be nice to have an option like that. This book is about the relationship between two sisters and how they find their ways back to each other, and they're both struggling in their own ways. So, again, excited to have a reason to read this one. I'm going to be saying that about every book because I'm excited to have a reason to finally be reading them. All right, we're halfway through. We have 4 more prompts to go. Let's see. You first. Green cover. Easy. Easy peasy. I have this book out from the library, and that is Reflections of Eden by Barute Galacticus. Is this not the cutest cover you've ever seen? It's a boat with a little baby orangutan on it. If you don't know who Barute Galacticus is, she's basically the Jane Goodall of orangutans, and I love orangutans. They have become my favorite animal after seeing them at the San Diego Zoo and just learning more about them. And I am so excited to read this book, to learn even more about them, to learn about Barute Galacticus's life, living with these orangutans, and all of the work that she's done with them. Like, I just love orangutans. I'm excited to nerd out with this book and to be so moved and also so frustrated at how we treat the world around us and the other living creatures in this world. But I digress. Yes, this is what we're picking for green cover. All right, 3 more, 3 more. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be, ladies and gents, and anyone in between? All right, this feels good. This feels awesome. What's this one gonna be? Can you see that? What does this say? Spanogram? Bitch, what? Oh, I remember now. I put a bunch of game prompts so that I have to do the games and then I have to pick a book based off the games. Let's go play the Spanogram. I guess they changed the name of it and it's called Strands now. So if you never played Strands, it's basically like a word search, but every word falls under this theme, which is that's included. That's the theme of this one. So let's see what that even means. Um, I'm not gonna have you sit here and watch me play the whole thing. I'm sure I will speed this up. That's included. Oh, hotel maybe? What the heck? Once you have 3 answers, you can get a hint. So I'm gonna do that. Safe. Oh, I bet this is things that are in a hotel, maybe? So hotel is like part of it. There's also in this game, so you're trying to find all these little words, but you're also trying to find out the main thematic word that goes from side to side. So I'm thinking it might be things that are included in your hotel, like internet. Oop, doing this on a mouse pad is not fun. Okay, internet. What else is included in a hotel? You're probably watching this and like screaming out answers, and I'm just not. Fridge. It's probably included in a hotel. Um, hotel. Oh, it's hotel amenities. Oh my gosh. Come on. I think I know what the long word is, and that is hotel amenities. Doing this on a mouse pad is like damn near impossible. Oh my gosh. Breakfast. Okay, we got it. So the theme of this spanogram slash strands puzzle was hotel amenities. Now, what book do I have that corresponds with hotel amenities? No freaking clue. Are any of these books set in a hotel? You know what I think is going to be a great pick is The Unit. This is a book that I have had for so long and still haven't read. I'll read you a little bit of the description, also to refresh my own memory. One day in early spring, Dorrit Weeger is checked into the Second Reserve Bank unit for biological material. She is promised a nicely furnished apartment inside the unit, where she will make new friends, enjoy the state of the art recreation facilities, and live the remaining days of her life in comfort with people who are just like her. Here, women over the age of 50 and men over 60, single, childless, and without jobs in progressive industries, are sequestered for their final years. They are considered outsiders. In the unit, they are expected to contribute themselves for drug and psychological testing and ultimately donate their organs little by little until the final donation. So, this kind of goes with hotel amenities. They have everything included in their unit while the unit is harvesting their organs. This is why I love doing the little TBR prompt thing, because it gets me to read books that I've owned forever and then just kind of forget about. We have 6 books so far. We need 2 more. What 2 are they going to be? I think we're going to get some really good ones. Let's see. All right, this is a great piece of paper. Let's see what it is. I got another fucking game. Oh, the Minute Cryptic. I was gonna just skip that one and pretend like I didn't get it so I don't have to play another game, but I'll play the Minute Cryptic. Why not? Fuck, you guys already played this one today. Okay. I just realized I already played the Minute Cryptic today. So actually, I am just gonna choose something else. Sorry. I'll do the Minute Cryptic another time. Okay? I already played it. Sorry, Minute Cryptic. If you don't know what the Minute Cryptic is, it is very fun. It's like these crossword clues that are riddles, and the Minute Cryptic, you just have to do one. So it's a little easier than doing a full crossword puzzle that's super hard. But instead of that, we're going to do longest title. Oh, interesting. Okay. I think what I'm going to have to do is go. I don't even know how I'm going to figure that shit out. I was going to say I can go on Goodreads or something and sort it, but I don't even know how I'd figure that out. I think I'm just going to have to look and count and go with my gut. Okay, I could be totally off, but I think after doing some counting, Signs Preceding the End of the World is the book with the longest title that I own. It's also a pretty short book, so that's a little ironic and a little funny, don't you think? Signs Preceding the End of the World is one of the most arresting novels to be published in Spanish in the last 10 years. Yuri Herrera does not simply write about the border between Mexico and the United States and those who cross it. He explores the crossings and translations people make in their minds and language as they move from one country to another, especially when there's no going back. Traversing this lonely territory is Makina, a young woman who knows only too well how to survive in a violent, macho world. Leaving behind her life in Mexico to search for her brother, she is smuggled into the U.S. carrying a pair of secret messages, one from her mother and one from the Mexican underworld. So, it seems very timely. And again, a book I've owned for a long time and have been wanting to read but haven't gotten around to yet. And now I finally have an excuse. All right, one more book. What's it going to be, you guys? I wish I could let you pick. Just reach in there and pick for me. Oh, one fell out. All right, what fell out? What wants to be read? What's this say? What does this say? Matches nails. Oh, that's a fun one. Okay, I have my lesbian nails on, so they're like purple, orange ish lesbian flag color. I feel like this is the most obvious choice, no? Like, this is almost the exact color palette of my nails. And I actually just bought this book. It's A Perfect Day to Be Alone. When her mother immigrates to China for work, 20-year-old Chisu moves in with 71-year-old Ginkgo, an eccentric, distant relative, taking a room in her ramshackle Tokyo home with its 2 resident cats and the persistent rattle of passing trains. Living their lives in imperfect symmetry, they establish an uneasy alliance, stress tested by Chizu's flashes of youthful spite. As the 4 seasons pass, Chizu navigates a series of tedious part-time jobs and unsatisfying relationships before eventually finding her feet and salvaging a fierce independence from her solitude. It's a coming-of-age book that features 2 cats. I picked this up because the premise reminded me a little bit of Sisters in Yellow by Mieko Kawakami, and I enjoyed the parts of that book that were about living with a stranger almost who's older than you, and it's kind of like found family, but it's also like you're forced to live with this person not against your will, but because you're both kind of victims of circumstance and you both need each other in different ways, even though maybe in a perfect world you probably wouldn't have come together. And I feel like this is a similar premise, so excited to read this. It matches my nails like perfectly, so I think it was meant to be. So here is a quick recap of all the books that we picked out in their prompts. First, we have Ripe. The prompt for this one was putting my letterbox on shuffle and choosing a book that matches the vibe of the first film that came up. And the film that came up was former cult member hears music for the first time. Next, we have Moonflow. The prompt for this one was a book by a trans author. Next, we have The Lover. The prompt for this one was a book written in the 1980s. Then we have We Could Be Rats. The prompt for this one was a lesbian author. Next, we have The Unit. The prompt for this one was to do the spanogram and then pick a book that matched today's today's Spanagram theme, and the Spanagram theme was hotel amenities. We have Reflections of Eden. The prompt for this was a book with a green cover. Next, we have Signs Preceding the End of the World. The prompt for this one was the book with the longest title. And lastly, we have A Perfect Day to Be Alone. The prompt for this was a book that matches my nails. It's so funny because this is such a different lineup from the first round of books that I picked out when I did this TBR challenge, but I'm equally excited to read all of these. I think it's going to be a very hot girl read summer. Okay, we're going to be reading, we're going to be living, laughing, and loving, and I'm excited to be doing all of that with you guys this summer. And I will see you guys next time. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.